Welcome to Sir Henry's Class, a channel where we make learning so easy and observable. We are looking at Best Brain April Mock Mathematics 2026. If this is your first time you've come across our video, please like, share and subscribe. Question number 1A and B. Number 1A reads, in the diagram, line AB is parallel to CD and EF is a transversal. The point M and N are points of intersection. We have to find the value of x and find the value of y. So in this case, to find the value of x, we know we have 5x and we have 4x plus y. We have x plus 78 degrees. Those are the angles that have been created. So in order to find the value of x, you can simply say that 5x and then x plus 78 are co-interior angles, and co-interior angles sum up to 180 degrees. So we have the angles 5x plus x plus 78 all equal to 180 degrees. And then you make x the subject, so x is equal to 17 degrees. And then to find y, we simply add 5x plus 4x plus y. Since they lie on a straight line, linear pair, they add up to 180. And we know the value of x, so we substitute, and y is equal to 27 degrees. 1b, I, we have to simplify 2, multiplying the product 4 minus 3xy minus 5 multiplying 6 minus xy. So we expand to remove brackets. Where 2 multiplies the first bracket, we have 8 minus 6xy. Where 5 also expands the second bracket, negative 30 plus 5xy. We group like terms, and then we have negative 22 minus xy. You can also write it as negative xy minus the 22. That one too is accepted. Then we have to multiply 0.00834 by 0.02 and we'll leave our answer in standard form. So we express each of the decimals as a standard form. For the first number, we'll have 8.32 times 10 raised to the power negative 3. In the second, we have 2 times 10 raised to the power negative 2. So we multiply all the bases separately and we multiply the numeral systems also separately. So 8.34 times 2, and then the powers of base 10 also multiply. Finally, we'll have our final answer to be 1.668 times 10 raised to the power negative 4. So let's look at 1c and d. So 1c says given that vectors m equals 4x plus 3, 2x plus 1, and n given by x minus 2, 3y plus 4, and that m is equal to 2n, we have to find the values of x and y. So here, since m is equal to 2n, it means we multiply 2 by the values of n, and we'll have 2x minus 4, 6y plus 8. Now, since they said m is equal to 2n, so we equate. So 4x plus 3 equal to 2x minus 4. We group terms and x is negative 3.5. In the second row, we have 2x plus y, 6x plus 8. We equate them and y is equal to negative 7 all over 3. Then D says the lines y equals 3x plus 1 and y equals negative x plus 5 were plotted on the same graph. What will be the gradients of both lines, and at what point do the two graphs intersect? So comparing the two and their gradients, gradient is always of the form y equals mx plus c. Looking at the equation of a straight line where the coefficient of x happens to be your gradient, which is m. So when we compare these two, 3x plus 1 and negative x plus 5, the coefficient of x is 3, meaning the gradient is 3. And the second one, the coefficient is negative 1, so the gradient will be -1. Their point of intersection. So in this case, we set the two equations to be equal to themselves. When we set this equation to be equal to themselves, we will have x is equal to 1. Then we substitute the value of x into any of the equation to find the value of y. That is the point where they are meeting, and y will be equal to 4. So the point where they will be meeting will be y 4 and then x 1. That is 1, 4. Question number 2a reads that we should find the value of x in the diagram below. So if you recall, this is a question on Pythagoras theorem, the right angle triangle, where it says sum of the square on the hypotenuse is equal to sum of the square on the other two sides. So the other two sides is 4 squared plus x squared, and the hypotenuse is x plus 2 squared. We expand this and x will be equal to 3m. And 2b, the data here shows mass in kg of 10 primary students. You have to draw a box and whisker plot for the data. We'll find the probability of selecting the people whose mass is less than the median mass and greater than the median mass. So that's what we have at the right section. So this is our this is our box and whisker plot for the data, and then our median mass. Question number 3. So in an examination, the total number of students who took the exam is 44. Some took maths, and then some also took English. That is 3/3, or 3 times the number of people who took maths. We have to represent this on a Venn diagram, find the value of x, and find the number of candidates who took maths only. So that is what we have at the right side, where u is 44. Then we have mass representing x, since we don't have any value from the question, and then English is 3 times those who study maths. That will be 3x. So when we represent this in a Venn diagram, intersection is 1/3. So represent this in a Venn diagram. To find the value of x, we add region 1 plus region 2 plus region 3, all equal to the universal set. So when we sum these 3 values, our x will be equal to 12. That means the value of x is 12. That is for math. To find those who took only math, we subtract 1/3 of x from the 12. That is what we have here. So you further calculate this and then you find your answer. So if x is 12, let's indicate your 12 minus 1/3 of x, which is also still what, 12. So 1/3 of 12 is when you break this 12 into 3, that is, you get 4. So 1/3 of 12 is 4. So you have 12 minus 4. And 12 minus 4 will give you 8. So those who took only maths is 8. Then let's quickly journey to 3c. So question 3c, we have to find the sum of 3 consecutive multiples of 4, which is 120. We have to find the numbers. The sum of 3 consecutive multiples of 4 is 120. We have to find the numbers. So multiples of 4 are numbers that read in 4, 8, 12, 16, that's all that. So we don't know the first multiple, we choose a variable x to represent it. Then to find the remaining 3, since the multiples of 4 are derived by adding 4 to each term that you get, the 3 multiples will be x plus 4 and x plus 8. When you sum all the 3 of them, you should get 120, and then you find the value of x. So your first multiple will be 36, the second will be 40, and the third will be 44. The third one, or the last one, happens to be a question on magic square, where you add diagonally, vertically, or horizontally to get 21. So when you sum these numbers on a row, on a column, or on a diagonal, you're going to have 21. Let's take the final question. It says two vectors m and n are given by m equals 1 plus 2a against 4, and then 4 against 2 minus 8. We have to find the value of a if m dot n equals 14. So m dot n equals 14. When we talk about m dot n is simply meaning multiplication. Alright, multiplication. So m times n. So find the vector, that is, find the value of a and a value there. So we have m n, we multiply, show that. So 4 times the 2a minus a. You know, this is a question on perpendicular vectors. Alright, so we'll have 4 times 1 plus 2a plus 4 times 2 minus a, all equal to 14, and then we make a the subject, and we have a is equal to 1/2. Then b is a question on inequality where you represent it on a number line. So it involves a fraction. You multiply through with the LCM, and you have your value of x to be less than or equal to -6. And c, we have to factorize. The common factor is 2, and the common factor is just 2. So we divide 32 by 2, we have 16x squared, and then 25y squared. This can further take you to what we call difference of 2 squared, where we have 4x squared minus 5y squared, difference of 2 squared, where you sum the same numbers multiplying their difference or their subtraction. That is simply what we term as difference of 2 squared. We have the last question about a picture frame, where she uses 85 centimeters of the ribbon along the top, 450 meters along the side, and 1.2 along the bottom, and 320 millimeters for a decorative ball in the corner. What is the total length of the ribbon used? Just sum up everything, and then you're good to go. So this brings us to the end of 2026 April Best Brain Maths for BECE candidates. Thank you for watching. We are preparing video on the BECE, the rubric, the strategy that will help students. So kindly stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching.